dog.
Of course, yeah.
Okay, H. Brown the dog. I was talking to these guys, and she's a teacher. She teaches French and Spanish and Latin. I mean, that's fantastic to me. And we were talking about how the computers, how Claude. I was at a police commission meeting the other day, and they spent an hour going over hiring interpreters and stuff like that, and how it was hard to get them and blah, blah, blah.
You won't need them.
I had to stand up after them and say, you know, that was really an interesting presentation. But if you get somebody, if they speak any language in the world, you can just tap your badge like on Star Wars, and Claude will take over and will not only speak their language, it will tell them what their grandfather ate for dinner last night in Thailand and what kind of porn he watches. And it's true. But of course he costs $20 a month. You know?
$20.
Yeah. So you think you're in trouble?
No, it's okay.
No.
And
People
hashtag
like the human
analog
touch.
wife.
Yeah, but
We can still breathe and walk and look at the trees.
Did I
Yes.
mention how
AI
the-
doesn't do
Did
that
I
for us.
mention how
And talk
the
to our friends.
people are did I mention I'll be 80 in 2 weeks?
You
Well, the point of that is that people are worried about losing their job. I haven't had a job for 17 years, and I don't waste my time. I ran for mayor, for God's sake. I ran for supervisor, just for the story. I'm a bad writer, but I do nothing. So I ran for supervisor in 5-6 different districts. I ran for mayor. That was the big one, 2007 against Newsom.
Okay.
And we had a clown, literally, with twirling flaming batons. The guy that owns Power Exchange, the sex club, and the nudist guy, George Davis, and like 12 people ran, but it was a trip. But anyway, it's for the story. But you got time now. Think it over. Now you guys have got a better chance than me. I'm thinking if I can make 2029, I'm not worried about it. You know, I
You don't look nervous.
as a firefighter in the Navy and then teaching and all that. I'm used to death. But start thinking of what if you live to be 400. I'm gonna, if I keep going like this and I've got all my time, I own my time, I'm thinking of doing like maybe 20 years of stand-up comedy. You know, I always wanted to do that. And I always wanted to build earth houses.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
dig in and make rocks and all that.
Yeah.
But
Is
there's
that
a
the
lot-
link to the QR code to your blog?
Yeah.
Oh, I want to see
He's
it.
convinced.
No, I love you.
Yeah. It's not very professional.
It doesn't matter. Oh, man.
Can you see it?
Get the bot to just you
That's
a
that
little bit.
bulldog wall.
Yeah.
Often wrong, but never silent.
Ah.
Love it.
Well, I'm an Irish bullshitter, so I'm going to try and make it on up that hill. Tell me who you are. I'm H. Brown. Who are you?
Laura Bridges Pereira.
Oh.
I'm Rob.
Alfredo Pereira.
And we're at Delores Park on Easter in 2024.
And Hungry Jesus.
And yeah.
That's right.
Let me tell you a story. The story and my favorite historian, and that's Felipe over there again. He's a good friend of mine. He's here every day when I go up to do my walk. But the reason that we have problems in Palestine and all that, it's over a piece of rock, and it's a worth. It's not diamond, it's not gold, it's not silver. It's just a piece of rock. It's called Temple Mount. And 3 different religions claim it as their holiest spot. But my favorite historian, Yuval Harari, says...
Oh yeah, I know him. Wrote Sapiens.
Well, yeah, and he says the way that humans got together and got superior is because we're able to interact in large numbers.
Yeah,
and the reason,
more than 150 in tribes.
And the reason
By making myths.
by stories.
Stories.
By
Yeah.
stories. It's all
Creating
about
the stories that connect.
and the first story that you do is the story of religion, and so everybody, I see you around the world. I don't know you, but you're wearing a Star of David, and if I'm Jewish, then hey, you know I know everything about you, you know. But what we have in in this worthless piece of rock is a conflict between two stories. It's about two stories, and both stories are lies. Or three different religions, three different stories, and they're all lies. And because they made them up because we were primitive and we needed some reason for people, Uncle Joe rotting away in the corner, you know. No, he went to the mountain, he went to the cloud, he went to other and all that. But we're too old for that. Think of AI. What happens is, a friend of mine told me about 40 years ago. I'm going to tell him. Okay, he said that he was the desk clerk and he was a cab driver, and he said he was from Mars in the future, and he said he was there to stop a nuclear war in the year 2000, and to do that he had to get something published on nuclear weapons, and so I became his clerk for like 3 years, and we wrote up his papers and gave them to the Russians, and I carried it to the Russian consul. They took me in a dark room, and it was really something. But anyway, we gave them to the president and the Russians, and then the New York Times and the LA Times and Izvestia, and everybody turned it down. Izvestia printed it, and the Russians used it. It's like a giant chart of every nuclear weapon in the world and where they are and all that. And it's all public information if you do, like George, the cab driver, and they're able to, he knows it all. And so we put it all, they used it as a start for Start 1. The strategic arms and limitations talk, the SALT, they used that as a basis for it, and we went from 50,000 nuclear weapons in the world down to about 15. That's my contribution in life, to be a clerk typist, you know?
Yeah.
But isn't that it? But anyway, he said, you ask, he said, we were on acid when he told us that he was from Mars. And so he says, don't you have any questions? He said, don't you ask, is there life on other planets? And or anything like, he said, of course. He said, we're talking billions of years here. He said, of course, this happened long ago, over and over and over. And every single one like you, when they reached the point, they discovered the power that runs the universe, which is nuclear energy. Nuclear energy. Once these civilizations discovered nuclear energy, it's a monkey playing with a coconut, man. You know, you know that line?
I thought about it.
You know
like
that line?
No, that's new for me.
It's a country line that says, that's funnier than a monkey trying to fuck a coconut. Anyway, once they got nuclear energy, they all destroyed themselves, except one, and that one went on to create what we call God. And I said, okay, didn't make any sense for 45 years, and now we're getting on ASI, and ASI's God. You know, it's something that we're not, they're saying, they're throwing around numbers like once you hook it into the quantum computers, you're talking 1 trillion times faster than we can think.
You know that?
Yeah, and Musk says he's going to hook us up to it with Neuralink within 10 years.
It's a lot.
All I got to do is stay alive, so I'm going to walk up
You
that
can do
hill.
it.
I'm going to walk up that hill every day.
God damn it.
I'm going to keep filming this.
Much.
See you guys later. Oh, he said, and then he said, don't you want to ask me serious questions? Don't you want to know the meaning of life or love? Would you guys like to know one of those?
Yeah, go ahead.
The guy from Mars in the future says, which one do you want to know? The meaning of life or love?
Love.
Love?
Love.
Because people say that they love somebody, and if you study them and watch them and the way they act and all that, you're going to find out that they love somebody because of the way they look, or because of their family, or their money, or their car, or their house, or their job, or their friends, and all of those things can go away. Love is only real if your friend comes and says, man, he is so nice, she is so smart, he is so generous, he's so kind. Those are things that don't change, and that's the meaning of love. That's from the guy from Mars in the Future. What do you think? It's pretty heavy, huh?
Yeah.
How about the meaning of life? This is a good one.
Go ahead.
I feel like you want to share.
Imagine, that's what I do.
We don't want to get in the
That's
way
what I
of
do.
it.
I'm an Irish Shawnee. I'm a storyteller. Before there was writing, there was storytelling, and we passed down the stories. And I had that gene. The Irish, every culture has people from the storytellers, and we tell it. But the meaning of life says, imagine you wake up and find yourself playing in a card game, and you don't know the rules. But you keep playing because you're a card player. And eventually you figure out the rules. And the rules of the card game are the rules of life. Rule 1, you can't win. Rule 2, you can't tie. Rule 3, you can't quit. All you can hope for is to be the last to lose. Isn't that a great story? And it kind of rings true, you know. But I've gone past that. I'm with Musk. I think we're living in a simulation. I just became a character in your simulation, and you wanted mine, and this will go through whatever and all that. I have at least 12 readers. Now I have 15. See you guys later.